So it's like 1:30 almost in the morning here, and I was ready to just doze off and go to sleep kind of thing, because that's what you do at 1:30 in the fucking morning. And a bit of news broke. Now, I don't normally care about US talk show hosts. I really don't, because talk show hosts are becoming basically a dying breed. More and more people on the left and on the right and in the centre are spending more time looking online, to the likes of Tim Pool, to the likes of Joe Rogan sometimes, and to to the likes of who else do I? Jeremy, the Quartering. I watch him now and again. That kind of people, not the indoctrinated talk show host like Stephen Colbert, whose show is ending, I think, at the end of this year. It's been cancelled. And now, Jimmy Kimmel, whose show has just been suspended. Now, all this is down to what happened after the assassination, because let's face it, it was an assassination. After the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I am not going to be touching a lot on what happened with Charlie Kirk. I might look back about Charlie Kirk's life, essentially, but I don't want to do it right now, because there's a lot of things still up in the air about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But the fallout of Charlie Kirk, especially with the left, has left a lot of people, including me, basically sitting here shaking our heads, wondering how insane has some of the left become. And you see it all over Twitter, and they're still doing it right now on Twitter. The far left, especially on B-Sky, coming to think of it, or as I like to call it, Pedo Sky, because that's where most of the far left pedos ended up. They ended up in Blue Sky. But you see it, all these insane blue, pink, green, or orange-haired, nose-ringed, fat, lunatic left communists celebrating, literally, the assassination of someone whose political viewpoint they didn't agree with. Charlie Kirk wasn't a politician. Charlie Kirk, from what a lot of people know, wasn't interested in getting into politics. Charlie Kirk was essentially a talk show host. He just didn't have his own show. And he was assassinated for his political views. Much like the political assassinations that happened in the 1960s. Assassinated for their political views. But enough about that. Let's go on to the present. Talk show hosts on the left, people like Jimmy Kimmel, decided to pick up this story and run with it. Now, at the very beginning, just after news of Charlie Kirk's assassination became public, and the fact that Charlie Kirk was actually dead, at the very beginning, people like Kimmel and other people like him, like Stephen Colbert, another insane brainwashed left lunatic, if you watch them in those early hours after Kirk's death, they looked genuinely sorry. Genuinely sorry that a man was killed for his political views. But then you wait a day, and especially in Kimmel's case, you wait a day, and the far left, communist / progressive / batshit insane ethos starts to run around in their head. Now, far left idiot after far left idiot after far left idiot who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, they've been losing their jobs as quick as that, because the cancel culture phenomenon that the left invented is now coming to bite them back in the rear end. Now people in the centre and centre left, centre right, along with some people in the Democratic Party itself, Democratic Party supporters, are actually informing these lunatic far left wingnuts, informing these lunatic far left wingnuts employers about what their employees are doing. There has been numerous far left wingnuts that have lost their jobs over celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And now it seems Jimmy Kimmel is the latest. I shouldn't laugh, but this guy can afford to be sacked. He's been hosting that show for the better part of more than a decade now. He's got millions in the bank. He doesn't need to get another job. He's fine. But yeah, ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely over his remarks about Charlie Kirk's death. And it basically goes into the rest of it down there. Basically what Kimmel was essentially doing is that he was accusing the people on the right about picking up Charlie Kirk's assassination and running with it for their own political means, not even nodding to the fact that people in the Democratic Party itself, people who support the Democratic Party and far left wingnuts who support the Democratic Party, were doing what he accused the right of doing from the very second the news broke that Charlie Kirk was shot. Even before he died, people were celebrating his death. But Kimmel here, Mr. Brain-dead, lunatic, far-left wingnut, oh no, he didn't cover that. He just concentrated on what some voices were saying in the centre-right and the centre-right and full right-wing of the political spectrum. Now, granted, a lot of people, a lot of talk show hosts like Bill Maher, for instance, Bill Maher, however the fuck you put it, him with the long grey hair, he's a lefty. He's a libertarian lefty. But he was genuinely sorry about what happened to Charlie Kirk. What Kimmel does is not to be confused with what other talk show hosts on the left do. Some of them, like Bill, was genuinely sorry about what happened to Charlie Kirk. And they are genuinely scared about what this could mean for the future of US politics. But this cretinous sack of shit, why is it not pop? I'm doing the wrong one. There we go. That cretinous sack of shit right there, yeah, he deserves to lose his job. He deserves to lose his job. And the fact that ABC, the actual main network, suspended Kimmel because of the complaints of the subsidiary networks who said they will no longer carry the show, basically meant that if ABC's basically sacked him, or ABC indefinitely shut down the show, it means that Kimmel is still in contract with ABC because he wasn't actually technically fired. The show was put on hiatus, which means Kimmel cannot leave that network. His show could be off air for 5 months, 10 months, a year and a half, all the way up to the end of Kimmel's contract. And a lot of these talk show host contracts, they've got a no competition clause, which means he's stuck with ABC in a show that he can no longer host. And the one thing about talk show hosts, if they're out of the spotlight for too long, they're forgotten about. Yeah. So it's been a very interesting few days watching the lunatic far left, and I mean lunatic far left, rejoice over the death and assassination of Charlie Kirk. Did I agree with a lot of the things that Charlie Kirk said? I was 50-50. Half of it I agreed with, some of it I vehemently opposed because, hey, it says it in the banner up there. I'm an old school lefty. I'm not a wingnut lefty. I'm not far left. I'm an old school centre leftist. And I keep repeating this in every video. Neil Kinnock's Labour Party, Michael Foot's Labour Party, before Tony Blair got in, the original working man's Labour Party. I'm an old school lefty socialist. I look at the current left and I don't recognise them. I don't recognise them. What the hell happened to the centre left and left of politics? I'll tell you what happened. They got infected by communism. That's what happened. But I thought I would make this quick video about Kimmel because I literally laughed out loud when they... couldn't help it. I literally laughed out loud when this news broke. It couldn't have happened to a better idiot, you know? And don't worry about Kimmel. He's got millions in the bank. He doesn't have to work again. He honestly doesn't. Anyway, that's it from me. It's now basically 20 to 2 in the morning, and I'm going to sleep. Have a good one.